Great to see you, Joe.
Thanks for having me down here.
Welcome, mate. Now, most people, even myself, long drivers really haven't got much of a golf game, but you were your club champion at 15 years of age, so you've got some game.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of game, you know, we can play. Mostly long drive stuff now, so I'm not going to big it up too much just in case you do ask me to play a few holes, but a little bit of a short game, not too bad.
Your first big win was the European Long Drive Championships back in 2005. That was pretty much Joe Miller getting on the map, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think it was 2 years pretty much into long drive then, you know, going around doing a few of the events and stuff like that, but obviously sort of put a bit of a cap on it then and set the European record, 474 yards. But yeah, I mean, it's been going good since then, ever since.
474 yards. Now, for those here in Australia, that's 430 metres. That's a long par 4 or a short par 5. That's some hit. How many faces would you have popped? Cracked or popped, whatever.
We've done a few over the years. But that's going to happen, you know. If John, sometimes if they don't break, they're obviously made almost too safe. You know, we want these drivers right on the edge. Everything, the thickness of the face is all right on the limit of the USGA, what the USGA allows. Yep. So these are engineered literally on the limit every time.
A tournament pro would use an 8-degree driver, maybe an X stiff shaft, normally around probably 45 inches long.
Yeah.
Run us through what you use, you long drive guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is standing as we stand here. This is 50 inches long. Well, this is coming in at 5 degrees standard.
5 degrees aloft?
5 degrees aloft, whereas, you know, on tour the guys are using 9, 10, 11 sort of thing. But with the adjustability, we're allowed to crank this down to 4. Shaft?
Triple X, I would imagine, something like that?
Yeah, you got a Triple X Fuji, again, custom built for me, which is nice to have them on board as well. So it's, like I say, 50 inches Triple X with the 4 degrees of loft.
I like this one, though. You've got to zoom in here. You know you've made it in long drive championships or around the world of golf when you've got your own name on your shaft. I love that. I never got there.
You will after today, don't worry.
Do you reckon I will?
I've heard them talking. They're going to design you a 50-inch 4X.
All right, Joe. Let's see what you've got, big guy. That's straight down the middle and humming. First one of the day, 200. Oh, get out of that. Never got off the ground.
That's a little tip, maybe tip a little bit higher.
Yeah, the World Long Drive Championship in 2010, the first European to win that now.
Yeah.
The years before that was pretty much Jason Zubrick, Jamie Sadlowski. They were the dudes to beat. And in 2010, you were up against Jamie Sadlowski in the semi-final, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Nervous?
No, not really.
Come on, come on.
No, nerves don't come into it. Adrenaline comes into it, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, it was 2008, 2009 champion. So, you know, you got to hit your best or you got to hit something on there to you know, for Jamie to chase. And, you know, luckily I did. First ball, 396, I think it was, and that was the one that held up against him. And, you know, don't be wrong, he's up there with us, you know, all the time. So it's a bit of a rivalry. Obviously, always friendly to have a rivalry. But yeah, that year I come up on top.
Well, you're only young. You're only 28 years of age, and Jamie's just a little bit younger than you.
Yeah, I think he's 20, 23, 24, somewhere in there. And,
so you guys are going to be around for a long, long time. You're going to have some good head-to-head battles in years to come.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of them things, you know. You got the crowd going, you got, you know, the TV's on you. There's a lot of pressure, and it's, you know, we're not chipping and putting here, so it's not nothing delicate. It's all out, full out war almost when it gets to that final competition. So, you know, hopefully, like I say, a bit of longevity in the sport, and we'll be around for years to come.
Oh wow, this is kind of scary watching this. This is awesome. Tell me about one of the first times you got into the Callaway Centre. You were testing their drivers inside.
Yeah.
Run us through the story.
Well, no, I mean, you know, I was 2011. I was signed up with Callaway. Sorry, you know, talking to Callaway. 2012, we went down there. They said, "Come and let's see some numbers," because obviously at that time it was new to them as well.
The numbers are swing speed, ball speed.
Yeah, that's right. Swing speed. You know, we're talking in competition 150, 150 plus almost. Miles an hour club speed.
Mine's about 120 tops.
That
150
with a wedge. But but yeah, we went along. and they said, you know, let's have a hit, let's see what you got. And obviously they've got the big indoor, you know, simulators down there. So we're warming up, hitting a few iron shots as you do, and I said, is that, you know, how's that screen? Is that, you know, is that going to hold up? Because obviously it looks, you know, don't get me wrong, it's a big expensive screen. I didn't want to do too much damage down there because obviously they didn't see the speed. And no, it's fine. We've had Kuros in here. You know, he's beat up on that screen for half an hour, you know, hours on end. All the guys have been in here. Okay, fair enough. Just pulled out the driver and whack! All of a sudden the screen split, literally split like someone run a carving knife through it. It's split in half, dropped down to the floor, and I think at that point they was like, yeah, let's sign some contracts and let's see what we can do with you. So yeah, I mean that was again, get in there, put your stamp on it, and they loved it. And now we're here a year later with the new stuff.
Oh, here we go. You like that one? You gotta love that one. 4, 5.
Oh, that's just scary.
That's about 3.
Hasn't come down
yet.
yet.
About 3.
Wait for it.
It's about 350, 360. Oh, I'm happy with that. Done a rib cartilage. 2010, through that long drive championship that you were winning.
Yeah.
You were clocked ball speed at 225 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Now, just to put that in perspective for the people at home, 225 mile an hour. Gary Woodland, JB Holmes, Dustin Johnson on the US PGA Tour, they topped out at about 180, 182 mile an hour ball speed. Your world record, 225 mile an hour. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's up there. It's like I say, we've had some, you know, with the new stuff coming along, the new clubs and the balls that we use in the competition, you're obviously going to get some big speeds. But you know, we're clocking out at like I say, 150. That swing speed at the time I think was 174. Sorry, 147. And we had a 225 off of it. So pretty like previous year, the following year after that, we was up to 150, using a slightly softer ball the following year. So we would have seen some, you know, approaching the 230 mark, I think. But wow. It's when it all comes together. Obviously, you got to have the right ball, you got to have the right clubs, right atmosphere, and get that adrenaline pumping, and you're going to see some big numbers.
You got a trick shot for us?
There's a little bit of a tip, for especially, you know, the Aussie guys, like a beer or two, maybe get Saturday morning, Sunday mornings, a shaky hand, trying to tee a ball up. Obviously, you know, trying to tee it up on something like that. We'll see. You know, a bit of nerves come into play. So, pack of 3. Just plonk that down there. And this is the, you know, I don't know if you noticed, the Callaway package is actually designed to keep the ball straight. So, we tee it up down there. Obviously, no problem with the nerves. Should have done this on the tour there.
It didn't go very far, did it? Look at it, just it went just there. That was awesome. It's still going. It's up in the air.
Measure that one against your driver.
Still going. I reckon that's up near my my drive.
I think that's probably the furthest putter shot I've ever hit.
Well, Joe, it's been good to hang with you, my friend.
Lovely. Appreciate it.
Mate, I got to tell you, though, I'm a little shattered. I don't think anybody's ever hit a putter past the Bogle's drive before. Just a bit shattered.
It was a good one, don't get me wrong. You know, caught it straight out the middle, little fade. You know, power fade, should we say.
Yeah, go on. Mate, we wish you all the very best in the Worlds and the rest of this year. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.